You know what's crazy? Most people live every single day like they've got forever. Like they're promised next year. Like they can keep waiting for the right moment. Let me ask you something. What if this is it? What if right now is the only shot you get to change your life? Look, I've been there. I've hit rock bottom. I've stared at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering how the hell I got so far off track. And maybe you're there too. But here's the truth. No one tells you. You don't need permission to change. You don't need clarity to start. You just need one thing, a decision. A radical, soul-shaking decision that says, no more. No more playing small. No more waiting. No more hiding behind excuses. You want a different life? Then stand up and claim it. Let me tell you what happens when you make that kind of decision. Your brain kicks in, your body listens. The universe starts to move things. But it doesn't happen when you're thinking about it. It doesn't happen when you say, maybe someday. It happens when you act. I want you to imagine for a second. You're standing on a stage. It's the end of your life, and someone walks out holding a book. It's the story of your life. Page by page, they read it out loud. Everything you did, everything you didn't do, every dream you chased, and every dream you let die. How do you feel in that moment? Are you proud of what they read? Or do you wish you had written a different story? That's the question that wakes people up. That's the moment legacy begins. Because legacy, it's not about money, it's not about fame, it's not about what people post when you're gone. Legacy is how you made people feel. It's the courage you passed on. It's the fire you lit in someone else, because you had the guts to light it in yourself first. So let me say this loud and clear. Your life is your responsibility. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to hand you the confidence. You have to build it. You have to earn it. By doing the things scared. By showing up even when you're uncertain. The way out is through action. The cure for fear is motion. And it starts with one moment. This moment. Right now. You feel that pull? That ache in your gut that says, I was meant for more? That's not ego. That's your soul trying to get your attention. It's the 90-year-old version of you, begging you not to waste this chance. So let's talk truth. Let's get honest. What are you tolerating in your life right now that's breaking your heart? Is it the job that's sucking the life out of you? The relationship where you've shrunk yourself to fit in? The self-doubt that plays on loop every time you try to take a step? You already know what it is. You don't need another podcast. You don't need more information. You need to decide enough. Because until you say it, until you declare it, nothing changes. Listen, you don't get the reward without the risk. You don't get growth without resistance. You don't become unforgettable by staying comfortable. People think confidence is loud, but it's not. Confidence is quiet. It's calm. It's the whisper in your mind that says, I'm not going back. Not to the old habits, not to the small thinking, not to the version of you that was too afraid to try. You've got to make a decision, my friend. A line in the sand, no turning back kind of decision. One that says, I will not live the rest of my life on autopilot. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be brave for 5 seconds. That's it. 5 seconds of courage to say what needs to be said. To start what needs to be started. To stop what's been slowly killing your soul. And if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Right here, right now. You're not broken. You're being called to rise. So get up, shake the dust off, look yourself in the mirror and say, this is the beginning. This is the moment I remember who I am. This is the chapter where it all changes. Let's go. Perfect moment. We grow up thinking someone will eventually step in, a mentor, a miracle, a sign from the universe. And maybe they will, but by the time they do, it might be too late. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to wake you up, because there's nothing more dangerous than a life lived waiting. You've got dreams, you've got ideas, you've got this fire inside you that refuses to die. But let me ask you something. What are you doing with it? Because I see so many people burning up with potential. and yet living a life that doesn't even scratch the surface of who they could become. They're exhausted, not from doing too much, but from doing too little of what actually matters. You know what matters? Integrity, courage, truth, legacy, and none of those are found scrolling. None of those come from sitting in your comfort zone. They're born in discomfort. They rise through action. They explode when you decide, I'm not living one more day like this. Listen, your life does not change in a year. It changes in a moment. And then you repeat that moment over and over and over again. You show up, you fall, you rise, you do it again. Not because it's easy, but because you made a promise to yourself that quitting is no longer an option. Let's talk about fear, because I know that's what's holding you back. You're scared to fail, scared to look stupid, scared to be judged. Let me tell you something that will set you free. You will fail. You will fall. You will look foolish. But if you can survive that, if you can breathe through that moment of discomfort, you'll realize something life-changing. Nobody's thinking about you as much as you think they are. The world is too busy with its own chaos to keep track of your stumbles. And the people who do watch you fail, they're not doing anything with their lives anyway. Their opinion, irrelevant. You've got to get louder than your fear. You've got to talk back, because fear doesn't disappear. You just learn to keep walking anyway. I remember a time I had an opportunity right in front of me. My heart was pounding, my mouth was dry, my mind screamed, "You're not ready." But I counted. 5 4 dots, 3 dots, 2 dots, 1 dot, and I moved anyway. And that moment, that tiny act of bravery, it rewrote my story. You don't need more motivation. You need a system. You need a way to outsmart your fear. 5 seconds, that's it. 5 seconds between hesitation and action. Between playing small and stepping up. Between regret and legacy. So what are you waiting for? Permission, perfection, a better time? Let me be clear, waiting is a decision. And the longer you wait, the louder your fear becomes. And look, I get it. You've been through stuff. You've been betrayed. You've been knocked down. You've been burned. But do not confuse your pain with your potential. Your past may explain you, but it doesn't define you. Every great story has struggle. Every hero has scars. But the people who rise are the ones who stop looking at the fire behind them and start walking toward the future they want to build. You're not weak for having doubts. You're human. But strength? That's built in the moments where you choose yourself anyway. So let me ask you, what if you stopped running? What if you turned around and faced everything? The fear, the shame, the guilt, the doubt, and you stared it all down and said, "You don't own me anymore." Because I promise you, there is another level in you, a stronger, bolder, braver version, and you don't unlock them by hoping. You unlock them by deciding. So this is your moment, your line in the sand. This is where you say, I'm not doing this life halfway anymore. I'm not dying with my dreams still inside me. I'm not handing my power away another damn day. You've got one job now. Show up, not for anyone else, but for you. Show up scared, show up messy, show up broken. But don't you dare disappear on yourself again. Because the moment you stop hiding, you become unbreakable. People will ask you one day, how did you do it? How did you turn it all around? And you'll say, I got sick of my own excuses. I stopped waiting, and I decided to change. That's it. That's the secret. That's what creates legacy. Not luck, not talent, just courage repeated daily. So let's go. You've got what it takes. You always did. Now prove it to yourself. Now, you ever look around your life and wonder, how the hell did I end up here? Not in a tragic way, but in that quiet, soul-crushing whisper that says, this is not what I wanted. You didn't plan for this. You didn't choose to feel stuck, but somehow you're here, in a life that feels smaller than the one you dreamed about. Let me tell you something. That feeling, that ache in your chest, it's not a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you're still alive. It's your spirit refusing to settle. It's your purpose pounding on the walls of your comfort zone, screaming, let me out. You see, you've got two choices every single day: rewrite the story or repeat the cycle. And if you don't make the choice intentionally, life will choose for you. And it always chooses comfort. It always chooses safe. But safe will bury your dreams in regret. Let me ask you something real. When was the last time you scared yourself? When was the last time you pushed so hard, tried so big, believed so deeply in yourself that it actually terrified you? Because that's the edge. That's the moment where you stop being a bystander in your own story and start being the author. Too many of you are living life like a rough draft. Half sentences, crossed out dreams, a story filled with edits, written by everyone except you. But here's the good news. You can start over, anytime, any day, any second. You are not a tree. You are not stuck. You are not sentenced to this version of your life forever. And if that voice inside you keeps whispering, "I was made for more," guess what? You were. But you've got to stop arguing for your limitations. You've got to stop defending the excuses that keep you average. Because every time you say, "I don't have time," "I'm too old," "I'm not ready," you are handing the pen over to fear. And fear doesn't write bestsellers. Fear writes tragedies. Fear writes lives filled with what ifs and chapters you're too ashamed to read out loud. I need you to hear me. You are not your mistakes. You are not your trauma. You are not the worst thing that ever happened to you. You are what you decide to do next. Right here, right now. You want to change your life? Then stop waiting for the world to give you permission. Stand up, take the pen, and start rewriting your damn story. But Mel, I'm scared. Good. That means you're awake. That means you're finally facing what matters. Fear is a compass, and if something scares the hell out of you, but it also lights something up inside you, that's your direction. Let me say that again. If it terrifies you and excites you, you must do it. That's the door, and you've got to kick it open. You've been taught to avoid fear, but that's wrong. You don't avoid fear. You walk into it. You move through it. Because on the other side, that's where your future is waiting. No more shrinking. No more hiding. No more rehearsing your life like it's some dress rehearsal. This is it. This is the stage. This is the scene. This is the act where you rise. I need you to look in the mirror tonight and get honest. Ask yourself, if I keep living like this, will I be proud of who I become? If the answer is no, that's your wake-up call, and no one's going to pick up that call for you. You've got to stop ghosting your potential. You've got to stop showing up for everyone else while abandoning yourself. You think your kids don't see it? You think your friends don't feel it? They do. People feel when you're not living in alignment. They feel it when your light has dimmed. And here's the part that'll crack your chest open. Someone out there is watching you, waiting to see what you do, because it will give them permission to do the same. Your courage is not just for you. It's legacy. It's leadership. And the day you start showing up fully is the day they start believing they can too. So what do you want? Not what's practical, not what's safe, not what your parents wanted. What? Doctor, you. Want? Say it out loud. Claim it, even if your voice shakes. Because once you name it, you can build it. You can reverse engineer the version of you that has it. You can take the steps. You can take the hits. You can get back up again and again, because now you're not just surviving, you're becoming. And that's where the magic begins. That's where regret ends. That's where self-respect is born. In the moment you say, "I won't live a story I hate anymore." You want a better life? Don't wait. Write it. Let me tell you something that nobody talks about enough. You will have to believe before there's proof. You'll have to show up before you see results. You'll have to build the fire before you ever see the flame. That's how it works. That's how change begins. That's how every legend you've ever admired started. In darkness, in silence, in failure, in complete and total uncertainty. But they kept going. They pushed when it didn't make sense. They trained when nobody was watching. They believed even when they had every reason to quit. And you've got the same fire inside you. But if you're waiting for confidence to show up first, you'll be waiting your whole life. Confidence is not the spark. It's the result. It's earned, built, forged through friction, through fear, through failing forward. You want to feel powerful? Then keep showing up for yourself when no one claps. That's real strength. That's the foundation of unshakable belief. Let me tell you something raw, something real. There will be days you don't feel like it. Days when the voice in your head will scream, "This isn't working. You're wasting your time. Who do you think you are?" And that's the moment, that exact moment, and where most people quit. They walk away, not because they weren't capable, but because they let fear sound more convincing than faith. But not you, not anymore. You've seen what settling looks like. You've lived it, and it nearly stole your fire. So now, you fight back, not with perfection, but with persistence. You get up, you speak up, you act like your life depends on it, because it does. You're not just building goals, you're building identity. You're not just chasing a dream, you're becoming the version of you who deserves it. You want to talk about motivation? Let's talk about momentum. Because motivation is a feeling, but momentum is power. And you don't get momentum by thinking. You don't get it by planning, wishing, journaling, over-preparing. You get it by moving. Take the walk, make the call, record the video, say the truth. Because when you act, your brain stops spiraling, your soul starts breathing, and your body finally believes, damn, we're actually doing this. And let's be honest, you already know what to do. The plan isn't the problem, it's the follow-through. It's the discipline to show up when it's inconvenient. That's what separates the ones who talk from the ones who rise. You want freedom? Then earn it. One gritty, unsexy, unglamorous rep at a time. Nobody posts that part on Instagram. Nobody celebrates the early mornings, the late nights, the lonely hours. But that's the cost of greatness. That's the toll at the gate of legacy. You've got to want it bad enough to keep building the fire when it still looks like ashes. And let me say this, you will be misunderstood. You will be doubted. You will lose people along the way. Not because you're wrong, but because your growth triggers their stagnation. Your change will threaten those who are addicted to your old self. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them go. Because you are not responsible for their comfort. You are responsible for your calling. And here's the deal. Not everyone gets to come with you. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your evolution. So stop shrinking to make people feel okay about staying stuck. Stop explaining your dreams to people who gave up on theirs. This is your permission slip. You do not need approval to build the life you crave. You just need courage, and courage, that's built every single time you keep going, when it would have been easier to stop. You've got to bet on yourself, even when there's no applause, even when there's no evidence yet. Because the moment you believe, that belief becomes a strategy. Look, I'm not saying this will be easy. It won't. You will cry, you will doubt, you will fall. But if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing discipline over distraction, legacy over comfort, you will win. So here's your homework. Stop negotiating with your potential. Start acting like the person you promised yourself you'd become. You owe that to your younger self, the one who dreamed so big it scared them. You owe it to your future self, the one who will thank you for not giving up. And you owe it to the people watching, who don't even know yet that your courage is the spark they've been waiting for. So build the fire, even when it's cold, even when it's dark, even when it feels like nothing's catching yet. Keep striking the match. Because eventually, that fire will light. And when it does, it won't just warm you. It'll ignite everyone around you. Let me ask you a final question. Are you going to keep saying one day, or is this your day one? Because that's the fork in the road. That's the line in the sand. That's where everything changes. Not next month, not when life gets easier. Now. Look, I know how it feels. The fear, the overwhelm, the pressure to get it perfect, to not mess it up, to not disappoint anyone. But guess what? You don't owe anyone a perfect version of yourself. You owe yourself a real one. Raw, unfiltered, on fire. You've spent enough time in rooms where you had to tone it down. Enough time in jobs, in relationships, in environments, where shrinking yourself was the price of being accepted. No more. This is the part of the story where the main character remembers who they are. Not because everything is easy now, but because they stopped running from the hard parts. You've seen the pain of playing small. You've felt the weight of holding back. You know what regret tastes like. And you're done with it? Good. That means you're ready. Ready to choose discipline over distraction. Ready to choose vision over validation. Ready to choose action over anxiety. And listen, don't wait to feel ready. That version of ready you're hoping for? It's a myth. You don't become ready. You become by doing. So take the leap. Sign up, hit send, make the call, speak the truth. Show up with shaking hands. Because that's how leaders are born. That's how legacies are made. I want you to think about something. 10 years from now, what's the story you're telling? Because you will tell one. Make no mistake. You will talk about this season of your life. Will you say, I almost did it, but I was too scared. I had the dream, but I talked myself out of it. I kept waiting for the timing to feel right, and it never came. Or, I was terrified, but I did it anyway. I fell 100 times, but I kept getting up. I built something that changed not just my life, but everyone around me. You get to choose which story you tell. And let me tell you something else. You're more powerful than you think. You've survived things that would have broken other people. You've rebuilt yourself silently when no one saw. You've battled anxiety, shame, comparison, failure. And yet here you are, still standing. So stop playing like you're fragile. You are forged. And now it's time to lead. Not with perfection, but with conviction. Because you weren't put on this earth to blend in. You weren't made to survive. You were made to build, to light up dark rooms, to start difficult conversations, to create something from nothing, to say to the next generation, it's possible, and here's proof. You want to know what legacy really is? It's not what people say about you when you're gone. It's what they do because you lived. It's the people who rise because you showed them how. It's the chains that break because you had the guts to break your own. It's the ripple effect of one person who decided to stop waiting and start becoming. So here's your moment, right here, right now. I don't care where you've been. I care where you're going. And I promise you, if you take the first step, the next one will appear. But you've got to move. You've got to trust your gut. You've got to act like your life is on the line. Because it is, not your death, your life, the one you were meant to live. The one with depth, with meaning, with fire. So this is your final challenge. Stop treating your dream like a side project. Start showing up like it's a mission. Because when you treat it like a mission, you don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for applause. You move like it's already done. So go, do the scary thing. Do the thing that makes your heart race. Say the thing you've been holding back. Start the thing you've been putting off. End the thing you know is killing you. And when fear shows up, and it will, you say, I hear you, but I'm doing it anyway. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you become unforgettable. And that's how you leave this life with a heart on fire and no regrets.